Today, we're going to be talking about how to maximize a small ad budget. If you're spending less than $500 a day on YouTube ads, you need to watch today's video. In today's video, I'm going to show you real footage from a coaching call that I did with John and Matt, two YouTube ad management black belt students. On the call, they were asking how to maximize a small ad budget. They're in a situation probably pretty similar to your own right now, where they can only spend about $1,000 or $1,500 a month on ads. Now, when your budget is small, it's very important that you spend it efficiently, and that's what we went over on the call. At this level of budget, it's very important that you choose the highest ROI, most profitable targeting options, and that's what we went over when we talked. Now, fortunately for smaller advertisers, there are some targeting options that are going to work really well for you that won't work for bigger advertisers, and which can be really profitable. In today's video, I'll show you how to exploit those targeting options, which only work for smaller advertisers, and show you how you can use them to scale up your account. Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. In today's video, another bonus FAQ video. We're going to be answering some questions from John and Matt. They're starting some physical product stores or e-commerce stores, and they have some questions where I think answering them will help them out and help a lot of you guys out too. Let's talk about how to budget for a new brand on a limited budget. Okay, so I'm here in the teaching account. So in the big picture, what I would recommend for the first campaigns is following the targeting ladder strategy. And I'm going to call that up just for anyone that's not familiar with that. You guys, have you guys both watched that video on the targeting ladder?
Yeah, of course. Yep. It's also in your book.
Perfect. Okay. So, for anybody who is not familiar with what we're talking about, this is essentially the targeting strategy that we're talking about. And we're going to fill in a little bit more details here. We start with remarketing, then go on the placement targeting, and then go on the keyword targeting is essentially the first few steps. Right now, Matt, do you have any traffic going to your website or any traffic you might be able to build remarketing audiences from currently?
Minor traffic. It's been so new that I wouldn't really consider too much of like heavy traffic to it because it's pretty new.
So what I'd recommend as the first steps, even though there's not remarketing audiences currently to tap into, is creating some remarketing focused ads and setting up your remarketing campaigns in advance. The reason for that is once you start running the cold traffic, those audiences will populate and then you'll be maximizing it right from the start. Mm-hmm. For the remarketing focused ads for products like this, well, we'll talk about this later, but what I'd recommend you guys use is TrueView for shopping campaigns. With these type of campaigns, you want to be advertising one specific product, but more a category of products. So for these type of ads, if you go through my book, I give a little bit more detail on how to script these type of ads. But essentially, this would be reminding them that they checked out this product, and then showing them some more proof that they'll get the benefits that they want. So it kind of what you should have in mind when scripting these ads is that the person is interested. You don't have to kind of sell them on clicking through to your site again. You just have to kind of convince them that the benefits that you're promising are really real, or that it's going to look like it does in the picture when they actually get it, and that there won't be quality issues, that there's good reviews and all that type of things. Do you guys have any, or would you be able to get testimonials from people, or basically B-roll of them wearing the sunglasses and kind of demonstrating the benefits?
Yeah, I already have that. Like right now, like I've been building up content so that way I can start posting on YouTube and other social media platforms. And I got some influencers who actually like it, and they've been posting on social media just to kind of hype it up and, get some traffic towards it, my page.
Perfect. So for your remarketing campaigns, here's how I'd recommend setting things up. Yeah, I'd recommend going real broad on your demographic targeting. Essentially, don't exclude any ages or genders until you get some data showing that they clearly aren't profitable. For the geographic targeting, same kind of thing. Like any country where you've gotten sales or where you think reasonably you might be able to ship to without crazy shipping costs, definitely US and Canada, and consider Australia and Europe as well if the shipping cost is reasonable. And then I would set up these three ad groups. First of all, anybody who went to your store or just visited a product page in the last 30 days. Second of all, anyone who hit the cart page in the last 60 days. And then third of all, anybody who watched a YouTube video from your channel in the last 7 days. So I find that's kind of a good starting point for these remarketing audiences. You'll refine that over time and you might eventually use shorter or longer audiences, but that's kind of a good starting point. For people that visited the shopping cart, then you can show them an ad, be like, hey, I noticed that you were about to check out, but something stopped you. Just wanted to remind you that we're doing this and this sale, that we have these reviews, and essentially just remind them what they want to buy. And then you would want to send those people straight back to the shopping cart page. For people that visited the sales page, you could show them an ad just reminding them that they checked out this product and then just send them back to the sales page. For people that watch YouTube videos, these lists don't always work. So you might end up pausing this later, but you would just show them the regular ads that wouldn't assume that they already checked something out. Just in terms of preemptively getting these remarketing campaigns set up, did you guys have any questions about how to set up these remarketing campaigns?
Personally, me, no, because I could always just go back to the course, if anything.
Yeah, and the nuts and bolts of what to click on. Yeah, you can go into there. Okay, so let's talk about once we go beyond remarketing. So I got some targeting options I think will be good for you guys. So the first step on our ladder is placements, but there's different kinds of placements. And I'll show you some that I'd recommend getting started with. So with placements, when you're working with a small budget, the most granular type of placement, which you'll get the highest ROI from, in my experience, is individual YouTube videos. So this, up until real recently, it wasn't possible to do this, but there's been a recent change where you can now target individual YouTube videos and essentially just advertise on the exact ideal videos. You won't be able to spend maybe more than $100 a day on this strategy. However, you can get extremely targeted traffic. So just to show you how I do that. So I go into YouTube videos and then I'm going to search for sunglasses. Some of this you can see isn't really the best type of video, so you might have to manually look at some of these. Like some of these look like music videos, but for example, right here, my sunglasses collection, that would probably be one from this channel that would be a good choice, and you could add that to the list. Sunglasses wholesale market in Delhi, probably not. That seems like more of a business to business type video. 5 best tips for buying sunglasses. That would probably be a good one. Essentially what you want to do is go down this list and click on at least 100 and preferably 500 different videos that would represent your ideal video. So it's a little bit of work. What I do when I set up these campaigns is I've trained some virtual assistants to do this. I give them some guidelines, say, this is a good video, this is a good video, go find me 500. I'd recommend you could do like a few of these yourself and just kind of see how it works. But if you're doing this at scale and making, say, like 20 or 30 of these campaigns, if you get a virtual assistant and train them how to do it, then that would be the way to kind of make it scalable. For your product, Matt, what is that called again? Is it how would you refer to that?
So it's basically a Spotify canvas, but it's like a print, Spotify art prints, basically.
Yeah, and it does look like there are actually some people.
Yeah, so the thing about it for Canvas, the canvas for Spotify, it's an actual app inside of Spotify.
Oh, okay, yeah, and that's referring to something different.
Right, so it's referring to the technology inside of Spotify of how to create a video inside of Spotify. So it's more of like a canvas wrap print or just like prints in general.
Yeah, let's see. Traffic is available for that. Yeah, it looks like yeah, kind of similar situation. You have to look into some of these a little bit more in detail, but it is looking like some of these could be good options.
Would you suggest that in general videos relating to Spotify would be just well, like say an artist talks about something about Spotify?
Yeah, that would be my next choice. Basically, max out if they're looking for that exact niche thing. That'd be the first choice. Yeah, and then Spotify generally would probably be the next choice.
Yeah.
You might even want to consider. Would this be considered kind of a decoration?
Yeah, decoration. Mainly, I would assume more of a gift.
Yeah, that could be something too. Yeah, I can see that. I think that could be what is it, like a really good gift idea. But I mean, gift ideas, decoration ideas, those two could be other video lists that you create. All right, so that is kind of our first baby step on the ladder, and that's something where, especially if you're using a small budget, that can be real useful.
Dan, quick question. What if I like looked up fashion hauls, like sunglass unpacking, like or like I could see like micro influencers that do like little fashion videos as well. Could that be something I could do for the sunglasses as well?
Yes, and I would say the first choice would be like the sunglasses itself, and same thing. That's the next choice. If you made a list of fashion haul videos, that's real targeted traffic.
Okay.
All right, so let's go to the next step, which would be YouTube channels. Um, so for these channels, I'm not sure if there are channels dedicated specifically to sunglasses or to Spotify prints. If you were able to find one like that, that would obviously be great. But we will likely have to go into for you, John, fashion channels, and for you, Matt, general gifts or decorations or unique idea type of channels.
I found
Um,
um I found my competitors. That was one of the things I did. Like Ray-Ban has one, Warby Parker has one, Oliver and Peoples have one, and it's just like specifically like just their sunglasses.
Perfect. Yeah, targeting those channels. Some of those channels may not be monetized, but essentially, if you get a bunch of sunglass brands, some of them will be monetized, and that would be rogue targeted traffic. For you, Matt, do you not have any channels in mind that people that buy these products might be watching, or um,
Um, I don't have anything particularly in mind besides that Spotify one.
yeah, because
I
I
don't
think
have any specific type of channels for that.
um, things like this oddity mall, I know there's some channels like this where they're basically like showing like strange or unique or attention getting gifts. You
Hmm.
spend some time browsing, but those type of unique gift or unique decoration channels are probably the best bet. um so that would be my next targeting recommendation, channels highly related to the product that you're selling. So going back to our ladder here, the next step on this would be keyword targeting. So, if you could describe your product in specific keywords, would you say, John, that yours are fashion sunglasses?
Yeah. The
The
fashion
pairs,
sunglasses. Sorry, what would you say?
oh, the pairs that you're selling, is it different pairs for men and women,
It's unisex.
unisex?
Mhm.
Yeah, because you could put in
Unisex fashion sunglasses.
because in that case you could just put in fashion sunglasses. You could also try in separate ad groups men's fashion sunglasses and women's fashion sunglasses. um, Once you've kind of maxed out those, you could try competitors names such as Ray-Ban. um, if there were people associated with your competitors brands, I'm not sure if it is this way in sunglasses, but maybe like the spokesperson for the company, you could target their name as well. um,
Oh, like okay, I got it. Like the owner of it as like a keyword term.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if I was selling, yeah, if I was like selling like something like Michael Kors, I'd be like target Michael Kors like lovers or whatever.
Precisely, yeah. And for this, you would be targeting that as a keyword as our next step on the ladder here.
Mhm.
For yours, Matt, you could target the keyword Spotify canvas prints. You'll probably get a small amount of traffic from that. That's real targeted. And do you have any competitors in mind or people selling similar products you could?
There are people selling similar products like that. A few competitors, but the way how they present their sites are like super messy. Um, so um, what do you recommend? Just like seeing those guys, because I believe the ones that I've seen don't do any YouTube videos. They do more of remarketing for image base for YouTube placements inside there.
And that would be okay, even if they're not advertising. Essentially, just anybody that has videos about them on YouTube, you know what I mean. Then you could buy advertising on those keywords.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our next step. Let me show you something else I think would be good for you guys. Custom audiences, or what used to be called custom intent audiences. So go to custom audiences. Okay, so there's two types of custom audiences that you could use. Basically audiences based on search history, what used to be called custom intent audiences. This is the one based on search history, and one's based on web browsing affinity, or what used to be called custom affinity audiences. Once you've kind of maxed out keywords, this is kind of the next step that I would recommend. Have you guys ever done any search advertising in the past?
Yep.
What do you mean by that?
It's advertising on Google or say like Yahoo search.
Like
Oh,
the SERP engine. Like
I personally have it, but Matt has. He has experience.
So basically, what's worked the best for me is if you build audiences based on your profitable search keywords. Let's say, for example, Spotify Canvas print was one. Then you just press enter, and now that's building it. People that search for this will now go into your custom audience. Ideally, you should have 50 to 100 of these keywords, and then you can build a pretty specific audience. This won't be as granular as, say, picking out individual YouTube videos, but it'll still be fairly targeted. For yours, John, if you don't have data right now, then you could just use keywords that you think would describe the ideal prospect, or if by that point you have display keywords working real well for you. Let's say, for example, men's fashion sunglasses worked real well, but women's fashion sunglasses was unprofitable. You could go into the keyword research tool and just build out 100 keywords related to men's fashion sunglasses, and that could be your custom audience.
Okay.
So that's kind of the next step after that. What I'd recommend once you kind of max out those is going into in-market audiences. And for yours, John, in particular, it may make sense to actually even do this a little bit before. So I was searching around in these in-market audiences. And there's actually in-market audiences for sunglasses specifically. So this could be a really good option. When you're first starting off, this would probably be a little bit broader than you need first starting off. But say if somebody was in this audience and then they also had other factors that kind of indicated they're a good prospect. Let's say they're on like fashion channels as well, and they're also, or maybe they're browsing videos about sunglasses, then that could be a really good starting targeting for you. There's also one for eyewear, so that might be another one to consider. And then there's broader fashion audiences as well. For your product, Matt, it's a little bit more challenging, but there is an in-market audience for personalized gifts. That's probably the most relevant for you. And again, when you're first starting off, this is probably a little broader than you need. You can combine this with keywords or placements,
right,
and, make that even more granular. All right. So, and you can get broader and broader beyond that, but that's kind of I would say probably your next 6 months right there. Essentially that's a game plan. You move up this ladder until eventually you're advertising very broadly on demographically targeted traffic. All right. So I know y'all guys got to go. I got to wrap this up as well. Thank you guys for jumping on too. Hope this helps you out, and hope it can help a lot of people out that watch as well.